Welcome to the Farmers Branch Chamber Chat. Yours truly, Grace Spees, Executive Director of the Farmers Branch Chamber of Commerce. Our goal here is to host community leaders from a cross-section of the business community, from small to medium-sized businesses, as well as corporations, our political candidates, and those from the school district. Today, we have Alex Sagcal with Sam Pack, 5-Star Ford and 5-Star Chevrolet with us. Hello, Alex. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing, Miss Grace?
I'm doing amazing.
Way to go. The first time I ever heard you say that, I chuckled. I went, oh my God, this girl thinks she's amazing. And I fought the hardest time to say that you were good, you were okay, you were adequate, and maybe the A word. But I have to admit, over time, you've broken me down, and yes, I will now refer to you at times as amazing. So good to be here, and I'm honored to be on your chat because I don't consider myself a leader, and I'm certainly not running for any political office, and I endorse this message. So what do we talk about, my dear?
Well, today I really want to talk about a couple different things. Specifically, you seem to have a very strong presence in this community in both Farmers Branch, Carrollton, Addison, Capel, kind of this whole Northwest region. Let's talk about how, that started and the growth and the process to being the community leader and the community liaison that you are.
Well, number one, once again, I thank you for calling me a community leader, although I'm just more of a local citizen that supports the community. And actually, it started a long time ago. I started volunteering when I was, before I came to the Sam Pack Auto Group. I was volunteering in the PTA. I was volunteering at school, church, and local government activities. And then it sort of morphed into its own life when we wound up coming to the dealership after working in medical sales and realizing I didn't want to travel anymore. And I said, oh, what the heck, I'll sell cars. And next thing I knew that my thoughts, I probably should have been selling cars 30 years ago because, my gosh, this is a community that loves vehicles. And working with the Sam Pack Auto Group is a dream come true because Mr. Pack's mantra is stay active, and it's relationships first, family, and taking care of God. And my gosh, it's good to work for those tenants in the back of your company. But it did start with starting off in sales, and because I said I'm going to work here, but as long as I have time to volunteer, because I'm still going to volunteer. I had always worked for other companies where volunteering wasn't always acceptable to bring that out. So because being a national asset or a regional asset, they wanted us on the road. So not to say anything wrong about those companies, but as a person, as somebody else that likes to help other people, you need to feed your soul with what you'd like to do to keep doing the things you have to do, whether it's pay bills or other items out there. And there's some great leaders out in our community that I like to say that has supported myself and all of the things that we work with. Like Sonia. Sonia was just on there a little earlier. She is one of the best leaders that's out there to follow in her footsteps, any form and passion. My gosh, it makes life a lot easier. But in any case, I'm talking too much. Go ahead, Grace.
So tell me, which came first? Was the dealerships already members of the chamber, or was that something that you initiated and encouraged them to do?
That is something that Mr. Pack initiated a long time ago. He has been members of several chambers. In fact, like the Capel Chamber member, entering their 21st year. Same with Metrocrest, a little bit longer than 20 some odd years. The same with Farmers Branch, a little longer than 20 some odd years, as well as with the school district. So I did actually very little creation on that side of it. I'm just a lucky recipient to support that. And so what I like to say is I'm a great supporter of what's been started a long time ago. I'm just fortunate that I live in this community. I've raised my family in this community, go to church in this community, and yes, I live, eat, and breathe in this community. So that's the good part. If you look at 240 of our employees that are at one dealership, there's probably less than 10 that live within 5 miles of the dealership. The average drive time is about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. These people are traveling from all over the Metroplex to work at this dealership. And so when I say this is my community, I'm proud to say I live here, I work here, I go to church here, and I eat here. So it's definitely our community.
That's
Hello.
awesome.
Go
And I
ahead.
just want to give a shout out to Sam Pack. You know, he definitely is a leader in this community in terms of his generosity, his, you know, he just contributes at a high level to, you know, so many different organizations. So if he's on here, thank you, Mr. Pack, for all that you do for the Farmers Branch and surrounding areas.
Let me
So,
say, add on to that, by the way, Mr.
mhm.
Pack, you are a leader in the industry and leader in our region. Thank you for allowing us to expand on what you started. Also, want to give a good support shout to Trey Russell, our general manager. It's his forethought. It's his ability to say, you know what, Alex knew some people in this area, because we had that conversation in the past. It's like, Alex, you know, a couple of community people in the area, we can grow on that. And that has grown to what it is today, where this is our community. I'm lucky to be a servant in Farmers Branch, Coppell, Carrollton, Addison, to the point where I don't like to say that I am a leader, but I am a presence, just because I've got a lot of friends, and we have a lot of friends for the auto group, and I'm just happy to support that.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask a fun question. It was about a year ago
Oh
that
my.
you were flat on your back and
Yeah.
had a little
Oh yeah.
lifetime hiccup. So it's been almost a full year. Talk about your recovery process over the last year and how being a member of a chamber helped, you know, through that process.
You know, we work in silos. We live in silos, we work in silos, and many of us don't mix in between. And a lot of times, who we work with, we don't wind up talking enough. And until something huge happens. Yes, I had a heart attack October 16th last year. And it was 48 hours of not so much fun. But bottom line is, thank goodness we're in an area where there's a level 3 trauma center and a cardiac center that was in our backyard, and took care of business pretty quickly. And thank goodness of being a member of the Chamber of Commerce. The first people to visit me were from church and the chamber. And and I don't have a local family here, by the way. My wife and myself, our family is hours, half a continent away. So our adopted family is who we work with, and who we go to church with, and who we live around. And it's a blessing to see people take the time out of the schedule to come back and call up and wake you up and make fun of you just to wake you up. And so it's a lot of
Who
fun.
did that?
Who did that? I don't know. But that's okay. Sharing a smile is always a good thing, especially when you're flat on your back and you can't move too much. Yeah, that was a heart attack, and we have changed our diet, changed our workout routines, and in the process lost 30 pounds, went from size 42 to size 34. And if you're a 5'5.5" at the highest point and you're a size 42, there's a problem in there, folks. And those of you who are in any kind of health line, you can see that problem immediately when you start shopping in the stout side of suits instead of husky. It's the stout signs. Oh my gosh. But yeah, life has changed, and being a chamber member has made it easier, because we had just been to that particular hospital, met the CEO, just been to that particular hospital, and knew they had a level 3 trauma certification. So I knew that I was going to be in extremely good hands right away.
I think you got VIP treatment in a private room and everything.
I know I got VIP treatment. That's the fantastic part about it, because now there are some of us that are listening out there. You are VIPs. However, somebody like me, I've never considered myself lucky. I've never considered myself a VIP, and to be welcomed by the CEO, by the CNO, by the heads of the departments of that particular hospital, visited by local city councilmen, called up by other political officials in the area. It's pretty humbling, because I don't consider myself a leader. I don't consider myself special. I'm just working in a very special community that takes care of its people that are active. So once again, thank you to Mr. Peck. Thank you to Trey Russell. Thank you to our community, whether it be in the chamber, whether it be the school districts, whether it be a church, whether it be our community. We're in a very lucky and nice part of the Metroplex and part of the country where people help each other out. I see more cooperation, more supporting work between groups than I have in other parts of the state or parts of the country. And I hear that in different organizations. So
that's awesome. And, I'm going to comment on, you keep saying that, you don't consider yourself a leader or a VIP. And one thing that I do think, that I've noticed is just, a wonderful quality of you is you're very humble and modest. And I notice sometimes you even want to just kind of hide as we, yeah. shout your praises and things like that. But, I think that is actually at its finest, the true example of a leader. You lead by action. You lead by who you are. You lead by your words, not because you think you're important and special and should be, treated some particular way, but that, I've never really ever heard you say anything bad about anybody. I don't think I've ever heard you even say a cuss word or anything inappropriate. And I think that, that just speaks to your character. And, you're such an honoring and respectful person for all that you serve, for all that you work with, for everybody in the community. And, that is what a leader should be. It shouldn't matter about position or title. It should matter about character, action, word, and deed. So thank you for being a true example of that.
You're much too kind. And I need to get a paycheck ready to send over to your place right away. So. Send Grace money now. So
well, let me keep going then. No, that's okay. Boy. You guys take good care of me as a customer. I can definitely testify to that. So, next time my car gets visited by some birds, I'll just swing by and take you up on that paycheck.
There you go. Yeah.
So I want to circle back to, again, I think that there's been a lot of dramatic change and shifts that you have made, especially since the heart attack. Like you mentioned, diet, exercise, mental health. I know that you're reading a lot of books. Talk about some of that process that you're doing to, self-care and to grow yourself both personally and professionally. Because right. I think, again, going back, we've said this on other episodes, it's the oxygen mask principle. You're only so good as, you're able to take care of yourself. So, yep. Share some of those thoughts with people about how you've managed to integrate those things into your lifestyle.
A while back ago, there's an author and speaker by the name of Charlie Tremendous Jones, and he stated that you'll be the same person you are today and as opposed to 10 years from now by people you meet or the books you read. And I truly believe that books expand our minds, feed our soul, and help put into practice things that you might be thinking about that somebody else has already done. So my idea is like, why invent the wheel if somebody else has done it already? So whether it's reading a book about someone who's got a morning routine that who's from a highly successful person that says, yes, get up in the morning, drink water, put on your workout clothes and go out and do something. Put your alarm clock on the other side of the room. By the way, I was already doing that. Actually, a lot of times I don't even wait for the alarm clock. I wake up before the alarm hits. If you're out there and you're in your 50s and you do that, raise your hand. Your body's telling you something that you've got to go ahead and do something, man or woman, and get productive. And so reading a book, getting around some other folks that speak positive things, at the same time taking action, because we're only given a short amount of time on this earth. And I believe that it's our duty to impact other people or support other people to help them out along their journey or make an impact to somebody else so that they at least smile for that day. So reading a good book, going to church, getting around some good positive people helps feed your soul. And another time of our life, my life, it was all about work, sales quotas, and everything else. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there comes a time where you've got to say, I've got to feed myself. And thank goodness that I'm in a position where, whether it's volunteering in the community, whether it's doing a service project, whether it's reading a book and telling others about it, it's all part of the same mission. And it's a good place to be right now. Did I sort of answer your question in there?
Yes, you did an awesome job. Thank you. And next question, how do you, as I say, as a leader, but you don't consider yourself a leader, but fact is you are. So just accept that. What's your style to encourage and empower others, say your employees, other chamber members, other people in the community? What is your kind of leadership style in that?
Well, leadership styles take many forms. Mine is I try to make sure everybody has an idea of what's coming up next. And if their role is going to be in there, I'll try to give them some ideas of what they can do to participate and let them start with small steps first. Let's give them a microphone and see how they do with it. And then let them run a little bit more with it. Bottom line is people, I think people want to explore things that they've not done before. At the same time, did I lose somebody? Okay. Best of all, from there, if you give people enough material to get the job done, a lot of them will surprise you, and so that way you can actually sit back more. Now, is there more thought work ahead of time in the planning, in the preparation, and the questioning of it? Absolutely. And but after a while, you can step back and actually do less work. But the best part about it, as you've said, that we're called to leave a legacy. We're called to leave other people to take charge. I truly believe that if we can find people to replace what we're doing, we're helping our community. We're making our job easier. At the same time, we provide for the continuity of whatever organization we're within. So, that makes sense?
Yes. Yes. Good. And as someone who has been encouraged and empowered by you, I say thank you. And, you are just, again, a great example of giving others the opportunity to lead, to make mistakes, to learn, and to do it in a safe and encouraging, environment. Is just a beautiful gift that you give. I think, right, to myself, I can testify, but I'm sure to many, many countless others. So let's talk a little bit about from a business perspective. How do you feel that your participation in the community and specifically with the Chambers of Commerce has impacted your business?
Well, I'm happy to say there are people, those out there that measure that. And while we can't give exact numbers, I can say that referrals make dollars and cents. And any given week, if you can imagine as a salesperson making your month's quota in a matter of a week or 2 weeks purely from referrals. Now that means for the average salesperson, let's consider that. You make phone calls, you set up an appointment, you have that appointment, you do follow-up, you do negotiations. Bottom line is there's a sale somewhere there, maybe not. But what if you have people out there, you empower other folks in chambers maybe, or maybe school districts to talk to other folks, almost pre-qualify them, and then they come knock on your door. It's like, Alex, I've been told by at least 2 different people, 3 people, that I need to talk to you about a vehicle. And I know you don't make a Mercedes per se, but my gosh, can I at least come by and talk to you? And they leave with a nice luxury vehicle, sometimes a Mercedes, sometimes an Edge. But bottom line is, I'm surrounded by fantastic support mechanisms, and I'm lucky to have some referrals in the area. And if you can imagine, once again, doing your month's quota in a week purely from referrals, it's possible. Now, does it happen overnight? Absolutely not. And one of my stories that before I came here, because I knew 2 other car dealerships, that bottom line is that working in the community was not an option. Working in the community could not be tracked. Working in the community was not something they wanted to be a part of because, once again, in the right now of selling for a dealership and the money right now, it could not be tracked. I am so fortunate that Trey Russell saw the potential, Mr. Pack, and started with it all years ago, decades ago, that I'm the recipient to follow in their footsteps and continue the process. And in this area, between the Farmers Branch Chamber, the Coppell Chamber, the Metrocrest Chamber, CFB ISD, as well as Coppell ISD, as well as the local churches, whole downtown Carrollton, historic downtown Carrollton, there are referrals that come from every direction. One of my workout partners this morning sent me a referral. Bottom line is, Alex, he's getting paid, and he needs it now. Bottom line is, it's an exciting time. There's a lot of, I don't want to paint a picture out there that I know there's a lot of people going through hard times right now. But look around you, folks. There are some essential businesses out there that are not thriving. They are exploding right now. You need to get in touch with those particular businesses if you're in need, because they're buying houses, they're buying trips, they're buying vehicles right now. And bottom line is, if there's a need, you need to do some research, because there are definitely some parts of the economy that are doing extremely well. And if you're working referrals like I do, and you keep track of them, referrals are up. So,
Well, and I feel like this is an almost overused term in networking communities, but people really do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And I think especially when it comes to purchasing a vehicle, it's a very complicated process. There's a lot of bad reputation out there that has to be overcome. And I think that, not just I think, it's a fact that
Yep.
5-Star Ford in Carrollton is like the number one dealership month after month, year after year, number one in customer satisfaction. And, that definitely speaks to, number one, the leadership, from Mr. Pack to Trey Russell to, your sales team, that you guys, have a caliber and a method in which you do business that does, set a standard of excellence, above and beyond. And so, they're hard-earned referrals, because I know that you guys work hard and do a lot to go above and beyond to serve your customers.
I'm glad you brought that up. People do business with who they know, like, and trust. In the world of networking, in the world of professional selling now, it's not just that solid cold call. It's not that solid sales presentation. It's deposits over time. And I call that marketing by being around. It's people can get an MBA, but in the world of an MBBA, marketing by being around, it's small deposits of time and character that people reserve in your name, in your category, as they see you. And in your community, whether you're choosing to work in one geographical area, one market sector, people will categorize you based on what you do. And if they see you helping out with the community, if they see you volunteering here and there, they're putting a positive deposit in that area. That's better that over time, rather than saying, hey, Alex made a great 5-second presentation and that's all I saw the entire year. As opposed to, I see Alex at every support option for the school district or that local chamber, or maybe that fundraiser with the community group that's doing good in an area where there's a great need. And then when they do have that need, they say, Alex, I trust you. I've seen you cleaning up other people's stuff. I've seen your company support out there. You've won all these awards. I want my family to buy from your family at work. And we take that with a long-term approach. We take that with the small deposits over time, whether we're doing good or we're projecting a good image in the area. And so whether it be through donation of money, time, or resources, we support our local groups, because we do the marketing by being around, by making small deposits over time. And I tell that to anybody that's coming into a chamber meeting, that it's not what you do at the time. You don't want to be a splash in the pan. You want to do something consistent. Well, it's that one meeting a month. Be consistent at it. Come a little bit early, stay a little bit late, meet somebody, have a one-on-one with them, and find out how you can help them. You help enough people. No, Zig Ziglar. You help enough people get what they get, or get what they want. They'll help you get what you need as well. So.
Well, and I just want to share a testimony that, I always think is fun. Prior to my running the chamber, Alex would invite me along to other networking groups and events and things. And so, we were regularly just checking in or tag different places together. And you were out at an event in Carrollton, and a couple from my church who were my mentors actually just came up to you, and they're like, hey, you're Alex. I know who you are. And you're like, do I know you? And it was really just because, number one, I mean, they were, people who were close to me, and they knew that you had, been speaking into my life and encouraging. And so they already knew who you were and came up to say hello, just because, of the marketing by being around. I don't know if you coined that term or where that came from, but there really is a truth to when you're just around, when you're visible, when you participate and you're active, people know who you are.
I don't know if I coined that term, but yeah, I'll probably put a book out there on Simon and Schuster in the next year, and it will be available on Amazon. But thank you, Grace, for your presence, because you have quite a following in the area, and I'm lucky to hang on your coattails on that side of it, and receive some extra notoriety in the area. And Stacy Givens, you've got some great comments in there. Thanks for listening to us and adding and supporting us on the board of directors. And you're right. It's those deposits over time. You are much too kind.
Yeah, Stacy says that Alex is a true servant leader, a joy to work alongside, and you see his passion for the community development. And I think, again, that really so succinctly articulates that's just who you are. And you can tell that you have a passion to make this world a better place now and today, but also to leave it a better place for the generations to come. And that takes, again, a special kind of person, a special kind of character that is selfless. That's not me. How can I get what I want, what I need, today? And to think, how can I invest? How can I sow? How can I make an impact for somebody else? And that's definitely a mindset that you just carry. So
once again, you're much too kind. But I will want to remind you again, we're around some fantastic chambers and other groups where those leaders have put those mechanisms into place, and I just support them. And life turns out well. And bottom line is, once again, back to the auto group, back to Mr. Peck, back to Trey Russell for allowing me to have fun in the community. And yeah, I do have fun. My daughter actually says that at the same time. It's like, Dad, are you really working? Of course I'm working, honey. I get paid. And anyway, so that's another story. So
awesome. Anything else that you have to just say? Just open mic for you. Whatever shout outs you want to give to people, words of wisdom for other leaders, other people in the community, business owners of any size. The floor is yours.
Let's see. To any leaders that are out there that are true leaders, remember, we do not operate in a bubble. There's always wisdom in many advisors. And so whether you contact myself, Grace, and others, feel free to contact. Always some good opinions out there. Advice to anybody else, know what to do if you should experience a medical emergency. Know what to say. It's not good enough to ask a question. It's better to give a direction, like, you dial 911, close that door. You over here, help the patient out. Know what to do and where to go. We live in a very complicated world. The last thing you want to do is like, do I go this way or do I go that way in a time of emergency? No. You should have business plans. You should have personal plans, and especially for the ones that you know and love. So that's enough, folks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. Appreciate your time today.
Mm-hmm. And we thank you for your time and your leadership and then starting this. This is, I think we're the only chamber in the area doing chamber chats. And I'm honored that you spent time with me, because once again, there are so many wonderful leaders in this area that I know that you're waiting to get to. And I'm honored that you include me in the group.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got quite a lineup coming up. This Thursday is going to be Principal Chad Hunter from Vivian Field. So
I like Chad. Good guy.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm. So awesome. Well, thank you for your time today, Alex. Appreciate you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen out there, till next time.
And thank you all for joining us on today's Chamber Chat. Be sure to follow us on farmersbranchchamber.org and our Facebook page for the latest updates. If you know someone who is a community leader who has a great story as we've gone through the last 6 months of the pandemic, the economic hard times, who has really served their community or overcome challenges, we would love to interview them. We'd love to share their story and get them some free PR. So feel free to reach out to us. Again, farmersbranchchamber.org. We'll look forward to talking with you soon. We'll be here again Thursday morning at 10 a.m. and Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Have a great day.